Hello, my name is Krista, and I'm doing this week's tarot reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is for the week of April 23rd to the 29th, and I'm doing a little bit of a different spread that I did last week. I'll be doing a 3-card spread using the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and the bottom card of the deck we'll look at for overall energy for the week. And then we'll be drawing a card each from both the Medicine card tarot and the Healing with the Angels tarot deck. And again, this is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you don't know what your Moon and Rising signs are, I've posted a link in the description box along with information about me, the decks I use, and how to get in touch with me, and my ebook, where you can plug in your information and it'll tell you what your Moon and Rising sign is. So for example, if this general reading for you isn't resonating that well, or you'd like more information, just tune into your Moon and Rising sign for additional messages as well, and hopefully they help clear anything up for you. So my dear Taurus, let's begin. I wish for you all success, joy, and wellness. I invoke spirits of love, light, and beauty. I call upon Archangels Michael, Gabriel, Metatron, and Uriel to guide this reading in peace, clarity, protection, and wisdom. So we're looking at general messages for Taurus for the week of April 23rd to April 29th. Wow. Oh my heavens, look at all the hearts. Very interesting. There's a lot of energy swirling this week, Taurus, for you. Taurus, your general energy for the week is the card Not For You. In the card is the image of a disembodied hand up sort of in the clouds. There's a lot of pink, a lot of gentle energy. So it's not a stressful card. Holding up a chessboard where it hasn't begun yet, and there's a fortune cookie in the center that says nope, with a big window in the background. So this could just be an appeal to a question or a concern that you've had for the last little while, Taurus, or throughout this week, that you're finding that you're struggling with, you want to get to the bottom of, you really want to see a reconciliation. Like, we're looking at the two sides of something here, right? Virtual enemies or opposites here. So depending on your general position this week, you could be any one of these sort of images. You could be any one of this type of energy. You could be the one propping up the conversation or discussion or relationship where you want to see a reconciliation, but you see it as doomed, and it could very well be not doomed in the sense where it'll never happen. It's just not going to happen this week for you the way you want it to. You could also be the actual answer in the center, which is, this isn't for you. This isn't going to work for you this week. You don't want to get into the middle of it. You'd like to see people reconcile and get along, and for, you know, that game, so to speak, to be played, that relationship to be played out. But you may not be willing to play it, or you may not be in a position this week to play it, Taurus. So, and you might generally just need some rest, some even emotional rest, psychological, mental. If you've been putting yourself through a lot of stress or strain, or have met with some difficult situations this past week or so, Taurus, this card, I'm seeing it with regard to the other cards in the spread as a symbol where you could need a rest from this level of decision making or contemplation. Even if you've been thinking too hard about something or trying to force something, It's flat out saying start over, start again, take a step back. So whatever that general situation is for you, Taurus, this week, I'm going to suggest that you step back a little bit from it, especially if it feels forced or that you're stressed out by it. Maybe even fixing someone else's mess, so to speak. Maybe give yourself a break and don't worry about that. You don't need to do that, Taurus. So your general spread, so the card in the center indicates what you're experiencing, and then the other, like directly, and then the cards on left and right of it are cards that speak to how this is happening in your world this week, Taurus. So we have Come to the Edge in the center, TikTok to the left, and Soulmates to the right. There's a lot of emotion for you this week, and there's a sense of loss, there's a sense of letting go, but it doesn't mean letting go of something that was sweet and joyful and that you always found worked for you. There's a sense of having courage to let something go in order to feel a different way about something, about someone else's relationship or your role in it, or even if you were the mediator in something or someone was asking you to. This could be a sense of being able to say no. Come to the Edge is a card of courage. It's a card of personal courage. You're not being forced into being courageous here, I don't think. You could be forced, and I mean, forced not like terribly. I just mean facing something you can't get away from this week, where you might be willing to wipe your hands of it finally. And that's going to, because of perhaps old habits or feelings or behaviors around this relationship or your part in it, you feel like you might be letting someone down, or if you don't do something about it or say something about it, you're not doing the right thing, or you're not doing your job, or someone may not like you, or a year or two ago you wouldn't have liked that about yourself. But I think you're getting to a position now in your life, Taurus, where you're willing to say it's more important to be true to myself. And courage in this instance means to take a step back and realize once and for all what is for me, what isn't for me, what can I do and what I can't do, and accept that. And accept that in a sense of not defeat, not in a defeated way, but in the sense that takes courage, in the sense of, now I know what doesn't work for me or where I don't belong or what I can't fix. Now I know what to focus my energy on, or my intentions, or my relationships. So it could be a very freeing moment this week, or set of feelings or experiences this week, as opposed to feeling trapped by not being able to do something that you would have however long ago. But it does involve courage, personal courage in your heart, and loving yourself enough to make this important enough for you to walk away from, or to let go of, or to trust that it will work out, whatever that is, that what you can't personally fix or maintain or control will work out. But it will take courage on your behalf. Just looking at the color, again, so any words that I'm saying, images in the cards, or colors that resonate with you, please use your intuition and your self-guidance to look at those in an intuitive way. And if those appeal to you in an intuitive way, please take them, even if I'm not drawing attention to them. But I'm just drawn to the color here because there is a heaviness. Again, it's not a loss, but there is a sense of letting go that you might have felt trapped by. So to the left of the central position, come to the edge is tick-tock. So as much as this is or could be construed as a sense of running out of time, the authors who created this deck consider tick-tock to be a sense of timelessness, in fact. So for the first time in a long time, you might feel like there isn't a hurry, that the courage could come with the letting go or release or surrender to the situation this week as a sense of, you know, if it's meant to keep propping up, it'll come back and you'll do something about it at another time. But if it doesn't, that's okay too, because whatever aggravation that is being met this week or whatever decision or concept is being met this week where you have to take courage about, even if it does find its way back to you, you will be in a different position by then. It's just not what you need to deal with this week. There is another general concept around the tick-tock card for me, even in this position, and that is a sense of timelessness regarding nature. So there's a poet who stated, for example, that, you know, one thing he's learned about death is that life goes on. So whatever is prominent for you this week, Taurus, that you find you need to take courage about in releasing or surrendering to, there is a sense of life goes on, and you're not going to be judged for this, and you shouldn't judge yourself for this. If you're ready to let go of something or even release it for the week, for the time being, it's perfectly normal and natural, and it's the right time for you. This is also a card considering cycles and considering time itself as a construct. So what have we constructed for ourselves that is legitimate or illegitimate? And by that I mean, is there something that goes against natural law that you're doing or participating in, and is that why you're not finding relief in it or the answers you want? If you're going against natural law, it'll always feel uphill. But if we recognize, for example, that everything has its time and that seasons are time, day and night, summer, winter, like that's time. Clocks and calendars and what we've manufactured for time really is an illusion. So consider a sense of timelessness here, and that you don't have to have it all figured out or come to a conclusion or fix anything this week, Taurus. So if you're feeling heavy, I'm going to suggest, even at this point right now, well, especially looking at the soulmates card, I'm going to suggest that you find release and relief in close relationships. Nothing this week, Taurus, needs to involve the solving of anything. This week, Spirit is asking that you take time to remember what's important to you on a deep emotional feeling level, and to even be your own best friend, to be there for you in a way that your best friends are that can't be right now, or that if you feel that you can't turn to somebody else, to be that best friend for yourself. Soulmates don't always mean romance and love affairs. They can. But we have many soulmates in our lifetimes, and so many of them come through acquaintances and lifelong friendships. But they always begin with ourselves. We have to wake up with ourselves, and we have to face ourselves in the mirror every day, and we have to lay our own heads on our pillows and go to sleep with the thoughts in our heads. So you could very well be your own best friend this week, or have a need to be your own best friend this week, Taurus. Not that you can't turn to other people, but that you're just as important as a friend, and you're such a good friend to other people. You know how to do it, and it's time to give yourself that generous energy and kindness this week as well. You have a great deal of reliance here. You're reliant on someone else or something else to help you through the hard times, and I would keep that up. I would keep leaning on whoever you're leaning on. If that's a spiritual matter, through prayer, for example, or if you're looking to others for advice, or if you're looking to the past, to a soulmate relationship from your past where you did learn a lot, If you're missing someone this week, you can remember what they have said before in a situation like this, or what they might say. You know, what would this person say in this position if they were here, you know, my soulmate? Or what would I tell them if they were going through this, and then provide that for yourself. So it's very generous, gentle energy here, but also very emotive. And there is some sadness here, and I'm not certain if that's regarding letting go necessarily, or if that is because you're being, again, a little agitated into being courageous this week. So it's not like, again, it is for the week. It's not like this rest of your lifetime energy, but there is some energy where you need to feel calm, or feel the need to be calmed. So don't give yourself a hard time for that this week, Taurus, if possible. And remember that you're very loved, and you have a lot of love to give, and you're loyal. Your planet is Venus. Venus is the planet of love and beauty and feminine energy and feminine cycles. So yeah, it could be something within your own world, your own body, your own, either you as a female, or you know someone who's female, who's experiencing cycle issues, relational issues, you know, reconciliation issues, that type of thing. So I'm going to leave that there, because I will keep reading into that. But let's look at some additional guidance for you, Taurus, for the week of April 23rd to the 29th. We're using the Medicine Card Tarot deck for any additional messages for Taurus for the week. I really feel, Taurus, that you just need a lot of hugs this week. You need a lot, and you need to give them. There's a lot more happening in behavior than in words this week for you. And you have a lot of support, so please don't feel alone. Or if you do, try to make those connections this week with people who matter to you, or your inner child, or your inner, whatever inner relationship you need to heal. All healing occurs through love. So if you're having a hard time and you're willing to berate yourself, for example, for missing something, or not doing something fast enough, or not being able to fix something, whatever is happening in your week in a general fashion, please remember to be gracious with yourself about that. You're not, you know, you're not the great fixer. You're not here to fix everything all the time for everybody. You can't know in advance everything that's going to fix everything. I mean, so be gentle with yourself. This is just gorgeous for you, Taurus. You've got Porcupine as your additional advice, and Porcupine is the card of innocence. You could be feeling really childlike and even small and insecure this week. Or you could be remembering what joy and magnificent beauty comes from feeling innocent and small this week. Where you don't have to, you know, beat your chest through something. Or this sense of courage could be the courage to be kind and gentle, right, with yourself, as opposed to giving yourself a hard time, or thinking that there's a mad rush, or that you need someone else to solve your problems, or that you can't get to the bottom of it. Please be gentle with yourself this week, Taurus, because Porcupine really need you to remember that in the most innocent way, in the way where we give up our sense of authority and our sense of image in the world, is where we find our truest self. And in that innocence, we can be most loving, right? Innocence to love and healing. Innocence to being able to play again, to being playful. So if you're feeling heavy this week emotionally, remember to hug yourself and get lots of hugs. You're really feeling vulnerable this week, Taurus. It's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. In fact, you could be taught a lot through that this week, and you could be teaching others a lot through that this week. So many of us get so tough and hardened by life and experiences where we think we have to be gruff, or we think that gentleness and kindness and innocence are, any vulnerability is to be avoided. But this week it's saying this is what might save you. So any additional messages for my dear Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Cancer for April 23rd to the 29th? So again, beautiful. We're looking at the card of playfulness. So both innocence and playfulness showed up for you, Taurus. So with any heavy emotion, and I really feel too that you're doing some hard work, or you've been in the process of doing some hard emotional work in regards to healing and healing and self-healing for yourself, where you're choosing, because you know what you're up against, and you're even looking at perhaps old patterns of behavior, or you're running into old circumstances. You're really saying, or the cards are really asking, for example, well, you know how to do all that. You got really good at putting fires out and helping people and assisting and reconciliation and problem solving and everything else. This week, they're saying, okay, how about you? What about you? What do you need? And primarily, it's relax. Love yourself. Be gentle. Play. And remember to be innocent and be vulnerable. Don't tolerate anything. If someone's nasty around you, or if you're being nasty to yourself, don't tolerate that. Okay, Taurus? So be playful and keep remembering to laugh and feel joy. It's one of the most healing energies in the world. Please take good care of yourself, Taurus. I really hope you enjoyed the reading. Let me know what you thought of that in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you for your next week's reading. Take care now.